Man, do I have a hot tip for you if you're into the wells or well industry. You're always worried about, corrosion on these galvanized steel pipes, right? That's the main drawback. Everything else about them is good, except maybe they're heavy and they don't bend. I put poly pipe in mine because this way I can pull it up by hand, and I got the 3-inch uh, well pump in a 4-inch hole, so it's not going to get stuck ever. And but this was my pipe. This is from 1996. You see these holes here? You can make this metal never rust. Now I'm looking. This is where they taped the wire to the pipe, and you can see the ridge right here. See that? This galvanized stuff here is like brand new, right? So in other words, if you took good quality electrical tape, like the 3M or the Scotch Super, whatever the heck it is, something, USA, not some garbage, and don't use like cloth tape, like Gorilla Tape or T-Rex or duct tape or any of that stuff. You could use this Gorilla weatherproof tape because basically it's electrical tape. It's got no cloth in it. It's designed to be out in the weather. It's totally different from the Gorilla tape that is got cloth in it. If you use the, like the Gorilla tape or the, what do you call it, duct tape that's got the cloth in it, the cloth will come out, get loose, and it'll clog up your pump. This could work too, because what I would do, I was thinking, why don't you just wrap this 100% for the first few feet? Now I started thinking, why don't I just wrap it 100% twice for like the whole part of the pipe that's down in the water table? There'd be no corrosion. But you can see, the corrosion gets less and less as you go up. And it was a good thing I used the vinegar, now that I'm thinking about it, to help free up the pump. I know it's not that strong, it's not good for the pumps, but the pump was coming out anyway. I used 5 gallons of white vinegar and 1 quart of bleach, left it in there 36 hours. Then they pumped it out at the well, and all this rust came out. Well, this started leaking a heck of a lot more, and it was pumping up through the well casing out the top. So I know I got some rust out, some serious rust, because the water pressure was being held back a lot by so much rust in here. So that helped. That helped. But this can be totally, this is in since 1996, so it was in 28 years plus in some months, right? If this was 100% wrapped like that, this would all be perfect zinc metal, like brand new. And I'll show you the pipe where it's above the water level. None of that's a problem. But you'd be stupid not to do the whole part under the water level. But you definitely would want to do the first 6 feet. Some people wrap them up all the way. But I think the problem is this isn't being taught from what I could tell. I was reading at all these forums and stuff. Nobody's saying this. These galvanized pipes would never rust. This is perfectly perfect. Right where the tape is after almost 30 years. So why isn't this being done like common? Like, you might think even if you do the first 6 feet, this would have been still working. Now you'd say, well, the pump isn't going to last that long. But the point is, you see how weak this metal is compared to the new metal where it's not rusted at all? If you're pulling, this pipe could have broke when that pump was in there. And this guy, Salty Dog, he knew what the hell he was doing. He was hitting it with the hammer down a little bit, pulling up a little bit, turning a little bit. He's got decades of experience. I probably would, if I'd tried it, I could have very easily broke this pipe. I don't know. I don't have that experience and finesse. But it just blows my mind that this isn't absolutely being taught right from day one. Wrap the entire galvanized pipe twice for the part that it's in the water. Now, okay, maybe you got a well that is 400 feet deep. That's, maybe you want it. But even then, how much is this tape? Not much, right? And if you got to do a lot of it, you get this type of stuff, because this is not cloth tape. This is made for underwater stuff. See, it's not cloth. It's different. Let me show you the rest of the pipe. So this there was a 10-foot section and 3 20-foot sections plus the pump. So that made about 73 feet, right? That's what they said. And we put 70 feet of poly to replace the 70 feet of pipe. This is the one that was attached to that 10-footer. So this is below the water line. You can see it starts getting less and less rusty as you go up. And then you go further up, these pipes are fine. You don't need, anything above the water line, you wouldn't even need to rust. This is in there 30 years. At that rate, 100 years from now, that wouldn't even be rusty. But the point is, you're keeping the structural integrity of the pipe 100%. These pipes are real strong. My I don't know, I forget, I think, what is it, 2,500 PSI for galvanized steel, Schedule 40, something like that. And I think Schedule 80, it's like 1 inch. I think Schedule 80 is like 3,500. I got poly pipe. That's 200 PSI. With the advantage of that is you're not going over 60 pounds anyway. And I got, usually the poly pipe for wells is 160, so I got 200. That's the best poly pipe. What's easy about it is you ain't got to pull it straight up and out like that. You just pull it up and it goes over, and you just pull it out, and I got the little wheels, and I just pull it straight out all the way down there. But I'll never have to do this again, probably. But I'm passing this on. Like, I'm going a little long-winded on this, but this blows my mind that if this was all wrapped up with that tape all the way across, it would look like that underneath it, all of it. The pipes would be 100% strong. So say you got a stuck well, these 4-inch wells, they stick a lot. But if you got brand new pipe down there, you could hammer it down, hammer it up. You'll get it out. Especially if you put, like, what do you call that stuff in there again? The muriatic acid or something, whatever. And actually, the muriatic acid wouldn't even affect this if it's all wrapped up. You'd be just getting the well casing. Now, this is another thing. How come the well casing is not lined with some kind of like light plastic that's hard, that is like not a paint, but just something they kind of spray coating in there? Because if it's on there like this electrical tape, it would be, the well casing wouldn't even get rusty. And how much would that cost? It just blows my mind why this is not being done. And I'm like a brand new amateur guy. And I'm like, holy shit. Excuse me. And if they gig me for that little dirty word, screw them. Anyway, because this is supposed to be YouTube, and you can kind of do things like you used to be able to do. Not them, they're communists today, But yeah, this is a hot tip, and like I said, this being, you can see how much metal is out of there. See how much metal is out of there? That's, you lost a lot of structural integrity, especially the first 3 feet. But I was thinking, why not wrap the whole thing? Tape is like, and don't get no Chinese tape. Get like good USA stuff like that, 3M or whatever the heck it is, right? Get no cheap stuff. And I guess if you got to do, this would work too. But maybe use this and then wrap it over it with that or something. I would wrap 2 layers of tape on this thing if I was doing this. If I was doing this myself, I'd tape all these pipes. If I was running every one of these pipes, I'd be putting in, because these are way, way stronger than, see, everybody's going to like Schedule 80 PVC a lot of times for drop pipes, which is good because they don't rust. And they're a lighter too, the screw-in kind. But I'd rather have this. The main thing is I hate rust. And I was looking up stainless steel. I'm like, whoa, is it expensive? God. And I think it comes, it's crazy price, man. So you got this, you wrap it up, it's just as good as stainless steel for as far as corrosion goes. And I'm like, you know how much stuff I read on the internet on all these forums over the last months, a few weeks, trying to learn about the well industry and what all the little tricks are and stuff. Nobody mentioned this stuff. But here's the proof. And that might be because, but the old timers should know this stuff. It's just wrap it up, man. All this where it's wrapped is, see how all that's corroded like that? Look at this. It's like brand new. 1 piece of electrical tape. Thank God. This was, well, I don't know. I saved this old pump, well pump motor. It's still working too. I was like, God, it's 30 years old. And that goes to show you, doing it right and made in USA the way it used to be. And that means, 90% European USA type people, right? That's what makes the good products. That's what makes good products. You can't be screwing around with all this. You can't make the USA something different and call it the USA, you know what I mean? It has to do with the blood. Look at that. See that? See that? I mean, it's obvious. And then, I don't know. That's this should get around, and there's absolute proof. So, and like I said, you just double check on this, but this is like real wide electrical tape. This is not. This is made for outdoors. It doesn't have any cloth in it. It's designed to go in weather. It's called weather something or whatever the heck it is. This should just probably, well, I don't know. Just use this, and if it takes you a little extra time, well, you just made something really that, this is 28 years of use right here. It's still brand new. If you wrap this up with 2 layers of electrical tape, 100 years from now, it would still be good. Right? And you know what? This is what overlaps in my health videos. Remember I'm talking about the hydrogen and the HHO? I ain't going to talk about it on here because it ain't, compliant with their garbage. But the reality is I'm doing it, and I'm strong as a bull. I feel like I'm in my 30s. Yeah, and if you're afraid the tape might unravel or something like that, after a while, I don't think it will because none of this stuff ever unravel. Just put a clamp around it every once in a while, like maybe not a metal one, a plastic one or something. Just hold the tape every 10 feet or whatever, and you got a forever pipe.